Hello, welcome to my stream. My name's David Reinhold, aka the Evil Twinkie. I do a lot of ZBrush VFX work, do a lot of scripting, and work professionally here in Germany in Darmstadt at Faber Quartial. We do a lot of historical reconstruction, including some work in VR for a lot of documentaries, museums, etc. There I am in charge of all of the crowds work, as well as pipeline solutions and character artists when I have time. The thing I'm definitely most passionate about is ZBrush. Unfortunately, most of my ZBrush work is now in the evenings and on weekends and projects for other people. The specific project, I did not make the concept art. It is for a game project, Gray Skies, Dark Waters. Let me just pull it up here real quick. It was a successful Kickstarter, small indie project. Basically, it's about this girl whose mother has spontaneously just completely disappeared. It was funded, I think, about a while back. Not even sure, but basically they were looking for a character artist, and I needed some motivation to go and make some more models. I've already completed 3. They are in Unity. This is basically, I'll show them later. But this stream's about a new character that I'm making for the game, which is Merle. She's a kind of an 11-year-old soccer happy little girl. Her bio is basically, let me just pull that up real quick. Fourth, Garrett child, 11 years old. Her name means rave, and she's impulsive, full of energy. Doesn't discuss her mother's disappearance very often, which leads other family members to believe she might not care. However, Merle is deeply concerned with what might have happened to her, speaking of her mother, as evidenced by the doll and the drawings she makes. Merle is the kind of child who believes wholeheartedly in fairy tales and make-believe, unlike her analytical brother, who I've already finished, and increasingly mature sisters. Forcibly mature, basically, because they have to deal with the fact that their mother's just gone. She's convinced that her mother turned into a swan. So what I'm really interested is describing a character and kind of describing that through my art. And this project is only characters. It's kind of a point-and-click adventure game with 3D characters created to really kind of convey this melancholy atmosphere, which I'm really into. So, kind of, hope that was enough for an introduction. They gave me a nice polyvore collection of images, which I've slapped together in my beautiful Pure Rough here. Pure Rough is a image just collection reference program where I can quickly go between stuff. Anyway, without further ado, I've blocked out the basic model here. This was half an hour, just dynameshing block. The base mesh is not mine. Well, it is mine, but I generated that in MakeHuman. So kudos to MakeHuman for being able to quickly generate beautiful topology for any age character. But definitely gonna have to be modifying this to kind of find a more childlike face. So this MakeHuman default face is still pretty adult looking, which it's going to be one of the challenges of this project is children, because if you've ever tried to draw a child and you're used to drawing adults, it's just you end up with very kind of quickly get into a very uncanny kind of place. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see. I think I'll probably just go ahead and start apologizing over. I think we'll probably get started with the pants first, since I'm not yet quite sure if we're going to be seeing the sweater at all, or if I should go straight to the jacket, which I don't even have in here. Maybe I'll just we'll see what happens, see how the vibe takes us. Music is you can listen to me with my library. It's mostly atmospheric stuff. If you have any requests for music, generally pretty open as long as it's not, as long as it's not lame music, and I get to decide what's lame. So, start off by thinking about either using a project on this or gotta set up my scene here. As you can see, I've got my own ZBrush UI here. It looks like Hitler. I'm not into Hitler, but I do like red on black. So if that offends you, I'm sorry. Now it somehow seems like I've already done this sort of a retopology so many times before, but each time it kind of ends up helping out to do it again by hand, since every model does end up being a little different. So right now, I like to, a lot of people will sculpt and then do a complete retopo pass later on. That's an awesome way of working. But I prefer to get decent topology at the outset because I find it makes my sculpting better. Just having the flow of the topology kind of match the flow of the sculpture basically allows me to work with a lot less polygons and work a lot cleaner. Less awkward, terrible stuff happens, though I guarantee that will be happening anyway. Again, I've never done this, so we'll see how I handle the experience of sculpting while talking. Not something I've ever done before. Kind of a interesting experience right now. I'll brush that a bit smaller. Kind of feel a bit like a weird person talking to an empty room. Why am I doing this on a Saturday? What else is there to do on a Saturday? Eventually, there's gonna be no way of not making this into a Twitch stream. I'm basically testing the recording software, see how it works. Kind of a cool concept. So, some things about topology. You want edge loops, we all know that. We want to have quads. For a basic top topology, you want to have even quads around here, more So for sculpting, you want to have pretty square rectangles, or as square as you can. And then for animation, you're going to want to have be worrying more about edge loops where they're placed. So while I'm sculpting, I'm going to usually have a bit more focus on the rectangular topology, and after taking that to max and making it game ready, I'll either delete or add extra loops to get it to deform properly. So this is actually geared towards a sculpt workflow right now, the topology I'm building. Kind of basic thing is I'd never want to have these lines go directly to the edge. I always want to have an edge loop just in case I want to make seams. And I'm already kind of thinking about, okay, this is more of a sweater type thing. So the seams aren't going to be as defining, for sure, but we've still got a kind of a collar seam thing going on here, and that's going to be super important to get that to reflect in the topology so we can quickly make that into a polygroup, extrude that out, kind of maybe do some polygroup masking to get that line texture over there. And then the rest is just kind of really trying to get this seam here, and then imagine like having these lines maybe like, yeah, go right through here or something like that. Seems like it's kind of bordering in right there. That seam go right down through there. Enough shaky hands, kind of nervous right now. Have this go up through here. And now I've got kind of figure like I've got a little bit more of a, okay, well, that's going here. I'm gonna have to take that topology, take it through here actually. So this was kind of the S supposed to be here. Now we have this small squiggly line going all the way around the arm. And I'll just take this out, then have these two seams line up there. The topology brush and ZBrush has issues, especially with the snapping. It behaves very strangely, and like right now I'm like, hey, I've got all these things lined up, why aren't you making me faces? Well, right there it wasn't. Right there it was actually doing exactly what it was supposed to, but oftentimes they'll do that. Shoulder is really the only tricky part, and shoulder topology will always be a tricky part. Animators will hate you riggers will hate you if you don't do a proper shoulder topology. Want to have a lot of loops down here. Might even later on go in and add something like this right here, just give it a bit more of a flexibility so keep that shape better. But right now for sculpting, since I'm only working in the T-pose, I guess you guys are working with me telepathically, spiritually. But right now when we're sculpting, I'm not going to be adding those edge loops because I'm not even sure. Maybe this is enough to get it to perform right because it's a sweater. Sweaters are in general a lot more. They don't have to be as precise as with a naked shoulder, which is going to be a much larger challenge to IMHO. So I'll just outline the rest of this. Got that. Drop down. What are you doing to it? Drop down some loops around here. And I'm doing this by just dragging out to the edge and then holding shift for that gorgeous loop all the way around. That's something I love about the topology brushes, or in general the curve features in ZBrush is just that feature of just drag out to the edge and now I'm going to go all the way around. Especially when you're drawing straps. This is absolutely a golden feature because, I don't know, like in every concept art you've got all these straps going around the arm to add more detail, add more convincing kind of frequencies, so that's visually more appealing when then projected onto a CG character. And that is a direct result of the straps of the nice lining in ZBrush. So, seems like I've got my topology done. I'm debating whether to go directly into a single thickness, or to go directly add some thickness to it. Which I think I'm probably gonna go with in this case, just split some unmasked points. Alright, and here we have our basic topology for the sweater. And it always adds me this bitch ass crease down the middle. I'm gonna uncrease all. Come on, what are you doing? Why don't you uncrease all? Oh, there we go. Let's see the uncrease. And then add another regular crease just to get those edges there. Got that dynamic subdiv. Beautiful. Now I'm gonna start adjusting the shape a bit, because I'm still not quite happy with that. In here, I'm just gonna pretty much mask out the sweater area of my blocking, and go ahead and say hide those. Oops. Like that. Hide that, so I can now actually have the sweater as my topology, as my actual sweater, and not be fuck. Fuck. Oh, it's I got it. Yeah. Let's go. You can always switch between tools with an alt click. I'm gonna try doing some test-wise sculpting just to see how it works, or if I need to make any topological adjustment. See just how this works. So before I really get into any in-depth shaping or sculpting, see if I like the way this feels sculpting on this, or if I'm gonna go back. Shoulders are always a bitch. And one of the things that I actually might think of doing, now that I'm kind of testing around with it, is actually go with a flat surface at first. Because the thing is, if I go to display properties here and tap my double, and for some reason this goes out, then something like this can happen. And that's gonna give you problems in baking of like, hey, why is this huge black spot on the back of my sweater? What's going on there? And it's actually just because, you know, through like all the sculpting and stuff, and you're messing around, doing all this cool detail shit, the inside of your clothing object will go into the outside, and it just is bad. So yeah, I think I'll actually go right ahead and do that. Delete hidden. Just because of this. But now, that being said, something that's absolutely mind-pissingly annoying is if I sculpt here, it's gonna give me issues on the edge. But I'll just have to deal with that. Okay. So, kind of see how much I can shape from here. And then, after I get the basic shape even more kind of worked out, I'll go and work into take down my smooth intensity here. Work the double-sidedness into it. Build it. There's a nice little edge loops, pan loops trick for making that go fast. So, I don't know, I see a lot of girls nowadays with these really wide collars. It seems to be fashionable. And since I'm always into being fashionable, I'm gonna kind of be making this one of those slide-off shoulder type sweaters, one of those super loose. Would she be wearing something underneath? This girl is 11 years old, so I surely hope she will. But just because of all the perverts out there, I'm gonna stop talking before this goes too far. probably at some point mask out an undershirt on her base body. That seems to be. Not gonna go for the midriff. Extract. So extract basically gives you an extraction of the masked parts of the mesh. It's a little bit too thick. I put all of my sub-object tools into a little rollout here, not rollout, panel, whatever, and bound that to my S key so that I can have these and not be searching around in here for a couple decades. Oh, Windows. Windows likes to try to turn on their tablet functions, even though I've done everything I can to turn them off. Yeah, it's a bitch. Also, whenever you extract anything from anything, and you go to a new subtool, symmetry will automatically be off. I cannot tell you how many times I have suffered from this quote-unquote feature. Actually, I don't like this at all. I'm going to try and clean that up a bit now. Because it's some weird stuff happening there with the extraction will automatically have topology generated from your whatchamacallit. So I think I'll just kind of try and mirror that, even though it'll look awkward in the beginning. It'll probably take away that vertex. Can we do this? Can we do this? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Okay. Do that. See how it looks back here. That here. Actually, that might work. Accept. Go down. Turn on symmetry. Ooh, what's that? Let's just do a. Again, got my quick tools here. All these different panels. They're just drag and drop. And mirror and weld that to get it symmetrical. See what I can do up here. Seems like at first I thought, I'm actually gonna do this, see how much I can work with this topology. Big. Probably gonna go with the zero mesher on top of this. I was hoping to kind of take over the topology from the body, or just make human topology, but just seems that flow of the shoulders is just gonna be different than the flow that we need for this undershirt. Or I don't even know. I guess you call them undershirts? Tank tops, that's it. Yeah. Tank tops. I kind of take everything and you can click in here. I actually have a button mapped on my keyboard just to clicking on the mouse, so that I don't accidentally move it. Seems like his face model might be a bit unsymmetrical or something happens here. what that it seems to be like right here where the that's yeah. Seems like it's not oh shit! Fuck! Well, it seems like my model is not perfectly symmetrical. Alright, now it's symmetrical. Kind of a BS way of doing it, I know. And I might have actually broken some stuff by doing that. So I'm gonna go in here, check to make sure there's no odd triangles along the central seam, but it seems like I got it down pretty. Seems like I'm gonna get away with it. So always the thing is when this model came in and it was a lot smaller than I wanted it to be. So I used the deformation size and the movement to kind of put it in place, but it seems like sometimes it's still not going to be perfectly moved into the center. But a mirrored well will fix that. Move this. Kind of smooth these out, get less formal looking. Because nobody's ever going to have that perfect underboob. And it just kind of draws the focus onto the wrong aspects of the body. Oh, that's way much. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for. Gotta love what they did with Z-Remesher in R7 is it used to be just unusable because of the spiral loops it decided to put everywhere, but they've really made it into the one-click mesh solution, retopology solution. Kind of get a little more, I guess it's totally relevant. Now, we've got less of that. We're gonna have the sweater be kind of a super wide sweater. I don't want people to be, have a bit of a nice, visual back and forth with this kind of a couple detail layers going on. Actually smooth out these since there's never gonna be a time. Back to the sweater! Yay, after that detour into tank top land. Let's see if we can get this girl a nice, fuzzy, warm sweater for Christmas. So I don't want it to be penetrating through the skin. I definitely want there to be some playroom for poor rigger, who's going to be trying to be. I might just delete the arm underneath later on. Make it a little more baggy. Yeah. And something I always do with the clay buildup as a side tangent here is I always switch the alpha to this nice round alpha. I was watching a video somewhere where somebody automatically kept on doing that, and I'm like, why is he always automatically switching that alpha? And I tried it. It actually gives you a pretty nice result. It makes it a very smooth kind of a buildup. As opposed to using the rect, which gives you like that faux clay feel. Working super loose here. Get some base texture, but you don't. I don't want to go too much surface texture yet, A, because I'm still kind of working on that shade. B, just because this is a sweater and they generally, it's all going to be defined by the whatever texture goes on top of it. So really just trying to refine this form. Careful not to jump into too high the detail level yet. But still kind of getting that figure looking into a young, but it's still really kind of a pretty cute girl. I'm kind of thinking this was sort of a young, she is a younger sister, so kind of maybe like a hand-me-down sweater vibe. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe that's why it's a little baggy, but baggy is cool, so kind of trying to make it fashionable and baggy because I always want to be fashionable. Even if I'm making a hobo, I want that guy to look good, just because I'm an image maker and I want my images to be looking good. I think I might actually put a bit of a crease down here, so that not too much, because otherwise if she ever does lift her arm in the animation phase, it's not gonna be pretty. Probably gonna pull this up a bit. That slanted arm. I want to have that diagonal for the arms, especially with women. So that's the way the cloth is going to be falling. Yeah. So now I'm starting to fill those bags, like make it a bit longer, a bit thicker, but still getting a principal triangle shape going over here. I think I need a grease pencil. One of those. A grease pencil is an object that allows me to draw right on my monitor, kind of to illustrate concepts, because I'm making these shapes with my hands, and since I'm not using my webcam right now, it's kind of a awkward thing. If I had a grease pencil, I gotta maybe invest in that, see which kind of recording software could use a grease pencil. Maybe see another triangle shape here, so that kind of getting this kind of that kind of a curved triangle. Let's get that to read kind of like a young girl. That's when I see little girls, I feel like the ultimate creeper. I'm always observing humans around me, the way they act, their shapes, their defining forms. I guess that's just the plight of a character artist too. Is that your reference is walking around outside you and does not really like to be stared at. So tend to secretly stare at everybody around me, and something that I really notice about young girls, this is sounding real creeper vibe, but just from an art perspective is that you've got this not quite as vase shaped as an older human female, very still pretty straight lines and not as curved. Oh my god, this is never gonna air. This video is never gonna air. Oh fucking god. This maybe I should just make videos where I don't talk, so I don't say things that can be taken extremely racist and bigoted, sexist. So I promise I'm not. I'm also not a creeper. I'm just like looking at things, people. Alright. I feel like that's a pretty good basic shape for that. Let's see. Got another half an hour. I think we can tackle getting the jeans blocked out. So the same process with the jeans. Gonna be doing a topo brush. Get the pulling my brush away. There we go. So for the jeans, I do prefer sculpting my reference from reference that is on a model. Seems like they're going to be pulled up quite a bit though, so maybe I'll just draw them. I think I'll draw them straight on. The woman, the damsel herself. I'm going to call her a damsel because that is a non-sexist, complimentary way of talking about a woman, a young woman, a young human female. And I am so happy that you can turn off genitals in Make Human, because that would definitely not be something for us. See, you probably just saw what my friend wrote there. Dreaming of drills and conveyor belts. What is that? What is that a reference to? That is a reference to Factorio, which came onto Steam about 2 weeks ago and has been dominating our lives. It's a really addicting game. You're just automating everything. Kind of addicting, especially if you're already automating everything at work. We're going to be playing that after this stream. Yeah, thinking we've sometimes played around with the idea of actually doing a live stream of our adventures, but because his username is FatmanJJ and I'm obviously the evil twink, so the evil Twinkie. It's the difference. I also go by the username of the evil twink. That's my Battle.net account because I didn't have fucking room for a Twinkie. I'm not. Everybody makes fun. Oh no! I'm making a spiral. There we go. So right here, I made the last loop, which is going to go all the way around, and now I'm going to split off into a loop, which will find the curvature, the going around the legs, and that way I'll it'll kind of define those segments also geometrically in my mind. Not in my mind, but just like have that flow be correct, because there isn't exactly a seam here. The seam is up here, but it's you want to have that. If I was making this in Marvelous Designer, which I don't own because it's fucking expensive, I'd be making a piece of jeans going down like this and cutting right here. So I want to be following that shape. I want to be kind of thinking of that shape as I'm making the base mesh for the jeans. Of course, this awesome loop function is just healing my ass all over the place. This is what I'm talking. This is those kind of things bother me for top Orochi. We just seeing just like it just doesn't want to snap, and it's just buggering the hell out of me. Did I just make a spiral? God fuck. No. This is gonna be a spiral. There we go. There we go. See how we do that? That's how easy it is. Immediately have spirals in your bar now, so you can measure for making spirals and you make them yourself. Make one here, yourself one come up through there. Try and get this centered a little bit more. I think I'm gonna have one more loop going around here because we've got this. We kind of really would love to isolate that as a polygroup and see if it's gonna let me loop around this. I'm gonna have to make a rect here. Fuck. Oh. Definitely gonna have to put a language. Definitely have to put a language warning on my Twitch. So I'm not family friendly. It seems. It's what see me as not family friendly. This is not what I wanted to do at all. I don't want to go like that. I only want to go like this. Bitch! And I'm talking to myself, so I don't think that's sexist. If I am, please call me out on it. Just gonna put it that way. Because I never know, I'm always kind of... Language has a tendency of offending some people. Yeah, and then I'm just gonna take this and reroute this little... Yeah, that's how we go. Got that simple apology. Put one of our edge looper up here, but I could do that later too. That actually be simpler. Yeah, I'll just offset that later with a schedule to selection like that. Do we want to mount? No, I'm gonna put the. I'm gonna actually just sculpt the. Yeah, should I sculpt the pocket? Should I not sculpt the pocket? I don't know. I'm not gonna sculpt it. I think I'm just gonna use this area and kind of rotate that into a poly group, then inset that. We'll see. It's gonna be nice. Yeah. Next challenge is gonna be getting that fold up here. But that's that now. It's actually I'm not gonna fold it up. That's bullshit. I'm not gonna fold it up. I'm just gonna model that. Sculpt that right into the model. Bigger brush. Reference. That's about as far as we want to go. This is another one of those topology brush issues where basically what happens is that these are making a lot of points on top of the model, and if they're interpolating too far apart, basically if my brush size is too large, and the resolution of the model underneath is too large or too curved or whatever, they don't actually like realize that they're intersecting. They're not going to make an intersection point, which is not going to then make a triangle or a rectangle where you want it, and everything's going to suck. Like right here, trying to definitely make sure that you get that intersection, and now they figured, oh hey, we're right next to each other, we're going to snap together. And you can actually change the snap distance, but it's not going to help because it really depends on the resolution of your brush. Like this brush actually works best if you got it like this. It's going to be really resource intensive. So good sweet point is like around 10. Yeah. Loop in there. Get this fucking unfucked. We've got the basic pants shape. Not gonna go with thickness from the get-go. I'm gonna add that later. And split on mask points. Now I can pretty much hide the blocking mesh, I think. Oops, that's not that good. Fuck. Oh, yeah, right, because I somehow, forgot that I drew it on the model itself. Now it's just a matter of making a bit of an in-flight here and adjusting everything. Move brush, be my greatest friend. Do a bit of tiny polish on everything just to get it real, because my hand is not perfectly straight as stroke, and this polish is going to make everything real pretty. Standard brush, just pulling it out. Paying extra attention to the edges because they just act awkwardly. Make them roll baggy pants. It's one of those hip kids. Again, kind of a hand-me-down vibe. Don't want to be too fit and skinny. She did not pay $300 for these pants. And I think I'm gonna add a little bit of attention up here, so it's okay that it's interpenetrating, because when I subdivide, I'm gonna just kind of z-project that. B, Z. Focus on. Oh, okay. Maybe get a bit of a. See if this works. I wonder if I put the indent a bit above. No, that's not enough. Oh goodness, I don't even want to think of this sculpt out of context right now. You can tell I'm an immature 12-year-old at heart. I guess that's why I hit peer video. I could probably, some would argue I haven't gotten out of it. I've add some more of that womanly side fat because my anatomy is shit. Terminology shit. Womanly side by fat is the official term. Cut this off. Actually, the folds I'm probably just going to sculpt them, but the holes are going to be a whole nother issue. Luckily, creating holes in a mesh in ZBrush is now not hard at all. Should I keep symmetry on? I think I'm probably going to I'm definitely going to asymmetrize them later on, but right now I'm just going to keep them symmetrical. lower. Because there's really no reason not to. Yeah, this is a nice low resolution. Increase all, increase a little bit. There we go. And voila! Here's what we did today, Mom. Doesn't she look cute? Yeah, I'm happy with how this is looking right now. Maybe a couple small adjustments. Here again, the toughness of working with a flat mesh. Definitely not as organic and not as forgiving. Kind of trying to get that to fold in right now, and it is not like registering the fact that I am working on the edges. Especially when you're smoothing edges, it just can lead to some unexpected results. More bagginess. It's a bit too much. So you definitely want to have a bit of that. Because it adds a lot of very appealing visual detail. I don't care how old you are or what gender, that is appealing visual detail. Shoulder here. Let's see what happens if I try that. Working on a mesh that you anticipate to be animated, it's always kind of sad because you can't model as much gravity into it, because it could be that this arm's gonna at some point be going like this, and then it obviously won't make sense if I now model the sleeve to drop down like that. So it's kind of got to be a distance which will look good from most positions of the arm. The whole unique challenge of modeling something with the goal of it looking good animated as well as in a T-pose, i.e. the pose you're modeling it in. But what I do really still want to kind of do is make sure that she has an elbow, because an elbow is just such a visual landmark when working with characters. Kind of get a stretch here, but having that elbow just kind of pop out, because I know, as soon as this thing gets skinned, our rigger's not going to make a blend shape for the elbow. This is a game mod. There aren't even blend shapes, so I'm going to kind of over-accentuate it just so that when it does then later bend in the rig, so you test this out, kind of preserve that shape a bit. So it's going to be smoothed out. Which is a very unfortunate reality of working in 3D models for games. So you have to consider a lot of things which don't immediately make your model look good. In order to sacrifice, take one for the team. Yeah. Alright, I think that'll be good for a test stream. Excited to see your thoughts. Should I do this? Should I do this live? Should I, hold on, there's just a little bit of a, gotta get this orientation correct. Okay. Should I do this live? What are you guys' thoughts? Should I say less racist things? Should I say more, give more tips, focus more on tips, focus more on my art process? I mean, I've tried to talk a bit about what I'm doing, what I'm thinking while I'm sculpting. Is that interesting at all? Do you want me to talk about video games? But whatever your considerations, leave a comment below if you feel like, and give it a like if you enjoyed or learned something, and give it a dislike if you think I'm just a racist faggoty fuck. I didn't. And I'm allowed to use that terminology because that is actually describing myself. I don't need to justify myself. Alright, gonna stop now. Have a good day, and see you next